Welcome back, everyone, to the PGL Major live from beautiful Antwerp. I gotta say, I'm from Belgium and I didn't even recognize a lot of the beautiful shots, so we're going to have to go explore. But for now, we gotta explore what's going on the server, and that is MIBR up versus Outsiders, which is the first set of matches on the A stream done in our best of ones, the very last one we get to introduce. Let's start with Made in Brazil, and I think the name says it all, right? It is a legacy institution in esports coming out of Brazil, who now have a lot of new faces looking for glory that was long gone. Is that a correct way to say it?
It has been, but I will actually add one more element to that name.
Okay.
It's made in Brazil, but they were made good in Europe. They got better every time they went to Europe for a Blast Showdown, a Blast Fall groups, whatever it was. They came back to South America and just started wrecking the competition. It was clear that every time they were trialed by fire, they came back with so much force. They learned so many lessons, and it shows that when you actually devote resources to a team, give them an opportunity to play in the tougher competitive environment of Europe, you will get better.
It is so romantic to think that the guys, the players, the bunch that actually made MIBR and CSGO is playing in this very hall under a different name now.
And they beat them to get here.
And they beat them, right? That's the passing of the torch, if you want,
Yes.
In terms of Brazilian Counter-Strike. And I'm glad you mentioned it. Every time we saw them in Europe, they got a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a bit better. And that's the only thing we can hope for a lineup like this. They're not going to show up and suddenly destroy everybody. That's a lot of passion, probably them.
That is Made in Brazil.
Very much
that
possible.
is the sound that we come to expect when Brazilian teams step onto the servers. Let's highlight just maybe the IGL. I think that's a good place to start because we were talking about kind of evolution. Let's talk about Woody, who Woody is what he's been called before. How much does that bring through, and how hard is his task going to be here at the Major?
It's very tough. I actually think that I rate Woody pretty decently as an IGL, but unfortunately for MIBR, he's the worst opper in the Challenger stage, flat out. That's just how I'm going to put it. He doesn't even have a positive KD against top 50 opposition. He has some moments here and there, as all oppers do, but I think that's more of a symptom of him just wielding this weapon than him actually having that much skill. I'm just breaking it down honestly, but as an in-game leader, I think MIBR looked pretty sharp.
I will join you. Unfortunately, I'm not on the hype train. Anders did try to brainwash me into thinking that Woody is an extremely good opera. He had that torch for a long time. Yeah. I see obvious limitations, mostly if you consider they're going up against James. But I will say, if there ever was a time to beat Outsiders, that might be right now. Let's just all take a second to remember that the reason Outsiders are here are a leg shot and a 0.001 diffuse. That's the only thing. The only reason why we have Outsiders here.
They're 0.2 seconds away from not
Soul
being
could have been here.
It's
Soul pushed him to the ropes in 3 maps.
Hey, maybe, of course, Made in Brazil are also Portuguese speakers, so maybe they're going to, for Saul. But that's true. Let's talk about Outsiders a little bit and about how, before they came to the Major, you would have to say they've been like the perennial dark horse that never really ends up winning the championship, right? There are so many extenuating circumstances around this team right now, and the most recent one that was added is the uncertainty around Yakindar. What does that mean for this team coming into the Major, Maui?
It does mean that this is a bit of an audition for Yakindar. I think everybody is well aware of his skills in the server, but to see him continue despite the adversity, that's what he has to prove to everybody out there who might be a likely buyer. Because we don't know the future of Outsiders as a 5-man lineup. All we know is that people are looking at this team to pick them apart. People, after the Major, when the post-Major shuffle happens, there will be some assets here.
And I like the fact that you mentioned during the pre-show that no one likes a selfish player. We don't like that. We don't like selfish people. I mean, at the very end of his tenure in Mouse, Robs also suffered from that symptom just a little bit. So you want to see Yakindar truly give himself for the team, because the other orgs out there who might consider him want to see someone committed to the W. Doesn't matter his stance.
And I think for all of them, we said there's 2 sides to it, or they're going to all just give it their all to make sure they have a great result here, or it could make them fall apart, right? But they are competitors, so we're expecting that not to go that way.
Yes, and something we have to give the bunch of the Outsiders is the tenacity and the resilience that they have. They are a really hard team to put down. Sure, they won't have the cleanest of wins. It won't be 16-5. It won't be perfect. We know it's going to get messy and dirty, but they never give up. They never freaking give up. They will push you to round 30 every single time.
They'll drag it out so much if they can. How many possibilities to that will they have on Dust 2?
I really love Outsiders' game plan on Dust 2. It's one of the few maps where James is actually allowed to get aggressive. He allows himself, that is. Sometimes you'll catch him running down middle, going for op picks right through double doors in the first 20 seconds of a round. Everybody's talking about James saving all the time. On Dust 2, he's saving Outsiders' ass because he's the one that's finding openings for them so early on.
I love the upset potential of Dust 2. I mean, MIBR did start a LAN campaign of 2022 beating Na'Vi on LAN on Dust 2. That is something absolutely huge. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually not sure if there was LAN. Maybe I'm overstating my regard right here. That was Dust 2 game. I think that's probably online.
But it still
Perhaps.
counts. Still beating.
Don't want to be spreading
on Dust
false
2 is
information.
very good. We're going to check it, and we're going to tweet at you if you're wrong,
Come at
Maniac.
me.
That's what we do. But hey, what a fantastic matchup we have ahead of us. Made in Brazil versus Outsiders right now with our beautiful, wonderful, smart, intelligent casters.
Oh my god, keep the compliments coming. It was LAN. It was LAN, Maniac.
Maniac, you don't
LAN,
lie. That's Maui Snake's job.
That's Maui
You
Snake's
got
job,
it dead
yeah.
on, brother. Dust 2, MIBR versus Outsiders. I like this.
Yeah.
This is a formula. You know, I thought to myself, maybe Outsiders wouldn't let MIBR take this to Dust 2. I thought, you know, I was thinking like maybe an overpass. But here we are, brother.
Going over the first rounds, like this, all the best of ones today, this is the one upset that I could see happening that was like kind of pretty favored in on the one side towards Outsiders. I could see MIBR taking this. The Dust 2 reinforces that a little bit, but that's not to say Outsiders can't play Dust 2. It's just the map is more forgiving, you know, for the underdog team. And as Maniac mentioned, huge wins for MIBR on this very playground right here. So really think that this could be an exciting match, and you know, we've had such one-sided matches so far, but this one is between two teams that are much closer together, I would say, overall, even if Outsiders are still within the top 10. So a nice challenge here for MIBR, and I think what was also said about Woody needs to be kind of reiterated and focused on in this matchup about his performances, because when we saw him play, Anders isn't all that crazy. I saw some really good moments out of Woody, and I was thinking, man, this guy could be something. But the facts are facts, and his stats are not there.
You know, listen, he's good, but Anders is still a little crazy.
That's also that's true.
Don't let that, you
all,
know,
you're right.
we can't let that one slide. Little hinge smoke here for Yakinder to climb up on boxes, and Woody, he waits. Looking for the feet. Flit able to get over top of that as well. So looking like this A-site hit. Buster chilling down on long. Turtle for the time being. Attention turned. He'll have the cover of the car to kill them on Cat. Yoda, he gets gushed, but so far so good here. MIBR locking it in with 3 clean USP headshots. Maybe make it 4. That one gets entirely shut down as the Cat play comes to a grinding halt. 2 players set up on site. That's all they need.
Hey, shout out to Turtle for that one. Maui in the last segment, and then brought up in the opening segment of the day, brought up Turtle, brought up Yota, and brought up Exit. I think all of those players have definitely stole some attention at different points. And I mean, James is still alive. You know, he's still alive. He's in the site.
You're not trying to paint this as a clutch, are you?
He's, you know, James just.
He's alive.
He's alive.
And so he was.
Yeah.
But MIBR going to take that first pistol. Turtle with the 3-piece. Yoda with the 2. Look at these taps, man. I mean, he is just comfortable position. Dives into the cover. Adds one as well towards the end. Dude, that peek on Buster. Ugh.
That was a good one. I said, Yakinder, I put you as 3-0 for the Challenger stage. You said, really?
Oh, no.
I kept it, though. And then I asked in the elevator today, I was like, you guys boot camp? He's like, nope. He said, but our FACEIT games have gone really well.
Man, you're not painting a beautiful picture.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I mean, that doesn't change
reality.
anything, you know,
No.
coming into it good enough to beat anybody.
Bro, I was looking at stats earlier. Devil Walk pointed this out to me, right? HLTV Analytics Center. Outsiders on Mirage. When they win games of Mirage, their opponents average 14 rounds. That's the average on Mirage, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes no sense how Outsiders seem to have these games longer than everybody else.
Yes.
And yet they pick up the wins, and it's grueling. And they were a couple pixels away from being eliminated by Saw, but they're here. And that's the thing, dude. Outsiders, they are, you know, I always call them the anomaly.
Yeah.
Because they just feel like something different from everybody else.
They're extremophiles.
And they just get through all sorts of issues, man. It's crazy to watch. But, you know, the core of this team has been in a major final. Never forget that.
Yeah, they're a very hard team to find sparring partners against, right? Like, nobody plays like them exactly. And in terms of who is delivering for them, you've got both ends, you know, both poles with Yakinder on one end, the #1 entry fragger in the world right now, ultra aggressive and unbelievable stats when it comes to attempt rate and success rate on opening duels. And then James, who is just, diametrically opposed to Yakinder in terms of philosophy for the game. Ops, he's also calling, he's playing so much more slowly. And then that's somehow the perfect complement with, this sandwich. If they're the bread, you've got Yakinder, or you've got Kickert, Buster, and Flit in the middle, kind of supporting and filling in different roles. But it just makes them very hard to play against just because of those two people in particular.
Well, one of them's already dead, so make this a smørrebrød, Danish sandwich. Open face. James splattered on the long peak. Woody? Not yet. There it is, dude. You just felt it coming. And it feels like MIBR behind Furia in terms of trying to take up the mantle for Brazilian Counter-Strike. There's a lot of expectations around the Brazilian teams right now, and I think some of them could be arguably inflated. But with MIBR, again, the Blast Showdown is just such a weird event in terms of kind of like changing narratives and creating question marks. And I don't want to take anything away from it, but online CS, travel, in between.
Yeah, I think
of course,
that's all fair. Yeah.
Qualifier and major. So
like it both was an event that happened that people were trying to win and play, but yeah, there was some stuff that doesn't necessarily mean you have to throw all your expectations out of the window for.
But this recovery, 3 rounds deep from MIBR, going swimmingly. They're just going to try their hands at the B hit or not. Who called this save?
Yakinder, who else would?
They let this one slip, baby. That's 3-0 MIBR CT side. And it's good. MIBR on Dust 2, man. They're going to be comfortable to be here.
Yeah, I hope this stage is the one that does prove for MIBR fans that they have. That just show like they have improved. I mean, we've seen it for the past 4 or 5 months. They have just been getting better and better. They get Cello on the roster. They have the 5 they want, and they can now build together. And the work they put in before they got Cello has also helped. As soon as you join the team, they have a flying start, basically. So.
James wins the duel.
That's a big win.
Straight up op fight, gets tagged, but maybe Woody's still swinging that scout, actually. He's got tons of money.
Oh, it was a scout?
Yeah, I think so.
Gotcha.
If I had to assume. Incendiary goes out towards the door, but still we've got a little bit of cat control here. We've got Outsiders with a hook in this one. A 5v4.
I think we're a good casting pair for Outsiders.
You think so?
Because we also take it slow. We're
I'm in no rush.
we get pretty crazy, at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, I think we move like James.
Move like it's James time.
Yeah.
Save your breath.
I
Save
get
your op.
I get it. I watch anime too.
I don't. Bullets being spammed, and then Yoda decides to take up the position. They've zoned him. Yakinder tries to hone in on it, but no.
Oh my god.
And then the cross.
See how he cheats back?
Sketchy.
Really careful, really careful. He could have gone. They trying to figure out which way did he go. And I think if he was any more scared, he would have actually just snuck over that way, but they might have made the right guess anyway. So
They're going to try to smash into B site this time.
Yoda's going up towards Cat. Exit is pretty
On
much
his own.
alone here.
He's very much alone, brother. And he's able to get the first with tons of damage. James is still waiting outside long doors as the bomb tries to get itself into the B site, jumps across the doorway, gets tagged. Cello hit that.
James actually doesn't have the op here. Kickert's in the site with it. They're looking for someone.
James gave that op over and then just sat outside the long doors with his deagle. James is just always
He's
chilling.
selfless.
Dude, there are times where I'm looking at a round and I don't think James has time to plant or defuse or do whatever, and then he always pulls it off with like 0.002 seconds, and I just think, like, what kind of internal clock do you have to have in order to make those kinds of decisions without just panicking, panicking yourself into losses? It's odd, dude. I almost feel like, Zillion from League of Legends? Father Time,
I know him
essentially.
from TFT.
Okay, dude, he just slowed.
Okay.
Like, I feel like James is Father Time. He just slows down time on his own accord. And that's
Yeah.
why he's so comfortable pushing it to the wire. But that's Outsiders with a mid-contact, a mid-pickup, a fallback away from it, and then just a straight-up B hit. Kept it easy.
You could have told me that James is he thinks he has the highest IQ of anyone he knows.
Highest IQ.
Yeah, apparently he's like super smart. But it could be a giant gaslight, right? Because I might bring this up on a broadcast.
Yep.
So everyone's just even more scared of James than they already were.
Now Yukinder just sounds like a really kind person and a great teammate.
Right. Yeah, now that you bring it up, that's probably exactly what happened. Well, on that one, I think that again comes down to the mid-B rotation. Talk about that a lot. I thought Yota tricked him by making it seem like he crossed and went back, but they read it really well. Not sure if they had vision or not. But that's what we'll look for on Dust 2. And that's especially what Outsiders exploit a ton. James sits in middle lots of the time, waiting to see who's crossing back and forth. And the worst part is, if you're the mid-B player and you get a kill, now your name tag's on the kill feed. So then it's even easier to figure out what's going on for those CT rotations. Shell doesn't take the shot on the hinge smoke.
Jame won't get any contact, but the jump across should have been spotted. Yeah, you can sense that they're there.
Oh,
A little panicky. Woody blinded off of the angle, falls back. Mid-contact also being shown, 45 seconds.
Oh, they won a ton of space here. You can see MIBR a little scared. They molly deep tunnels, but Woody still recognizes he's got to get something back.
So he sticks around, and they throw a smoke up. Oh! That almost looked like a collateral.
Yeah, that was close. Oh, is the guy in the back? Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That's
crazy,
even
dude.
more crazy.
Meanwhile, 2 CTs inside this B site. They're going to be split. Flit able to get across. Exit's going to throw that nade out. 15 seconds. Buster starts to push out through that tunnels, and that draws the crosshair away.
Wow.
But 2 entries for Outsiders
Bomb
as
is
they
so
lock
late,
in
too.
this B site. There it comes.
God.
It's going to have to jump across, and he still buys his time.
Jesus.
Down to the final second. Oh, he just lost!
Oh, come on, dude.
He just lost!
I can't, dude. Wait. Ah! Why is this? How? It's beyond comedy. It's beyond a script. I mean, Nolan couldn't write this. This is literally M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong levels of twists that happen every single time. James gets into it. I don't even know. That doesn't make sense. I mean, that doesn't even come down to James being James. That's the worst part. Like, he actually did have time to put. He just fiddled with his keyboard or something and missed the timing to plant the bomb. Like, even if that came down in 1 second, he had it. But, like, what the hell?
Paid by the round.
I mean, they still got to put up their half, though. Who knows? Might be a short game.
Bro, if you're his teammate, how do you just, like, let that go? I'd have a hard time biting my tongue.
You got to be used to it, though, right? Yeah.
I don't know, dude. That's just crazy.
You're dealing with so much trauma, like nothing hurts anymore.
Just like climbing over. Why climb over the boxes? Why climb over the boxes and lose those? Why climb over the boxes?
The door
dude?
wasn't smoked. That was just some weird.
But then the smoke was coming.
Yeah.
I don't. Anyways, it's in the past. There's a future, and we're here in the present. Father Time fumbled that one. Exit pops up from the Molotov. Good little bit of patience. Oh, but Kicker's got a little life in him.
Look at that spray.
Listen, baby, Kicker could recover. He's got 2 kills, and he's got these last 2 remaining players split for the time being. Woody towards the doors, Turtle on the flank.
Ooh, close door.
Kicker, looking to maybe attack this before the retake really gets going. He's just going to play it tucked. He gets the first, turns around, and there's Turtle with the response. Another round that could have been, but isn't for Outsiders.
Hell yeah. Nice shot, Turtle. That was a pretty clean one. I thought when Kicker won that first one, he had it, but he was in a good spot for the multi-frag. Let him know. Let him know. God damn. Nice try, Kicker.
Flit with the pick.
What was that Jame round, dude? What the?
What was what?
What was that Jame round?
Don't bring that back up, dude. I want the analysts to talk about that one. It's just crazy, you know. That's
Maui literally jumps through hoops for this man.
Yeah, it's true.
Does backflips.
Well, you see, based on the economy, it was actually a tactical decision to not win that one. So you put Kicker at 1v4, and he only needs 3 kills to still make that worthwhile. Now at the turning point, round 7.
But the thing is, they're going to survive it, right?
Yeah, that's what they do. You
They're
know,
gonna
that's the
survive it.
thing with Outsiders games. You could look at this and be like, man, they're in shambles.
Yeah.
How could you psychologically recover?
Every match, if you watch
But
CS
this-
for the first time, you would think Outsiders are like the worst team you've ever seen.
But
Yet
they
they're
win.
top 10 and they win most of their games. Yeah.
And they're here. It's weird, man. They are the anomaly.
The worst part about Jame is that he's actually really good. That's the worst part.
He's
Like,
so much easier. You know, it'd be easier to make sense of it all if he was just
Yeah.
bad. But he's not. We'll see if they can get through this B site setup. Exit on the Humvee. 2 CTs looking towards those mid doors. Props to Exit as well. That second kill last round where he pops up from the fire and just gets that last second headshot. He's going to feel the pressure. Throws out the incendiary. Dies. Cello kills Kicker towards mid. Woody wants to challenge the windowsill, but a flubbed incendiary. Not going to matter as the op connects to Buster.
they have taken the site.
Outsiders bruised as they take over the site. Yukinder gets in with the bomb plant. Jame watches the back. 3 CTs pushing through the tunnels. Utility in the form of Cello's smoke. Jame, missed shot, starts to fall away, pushes Yukinder into position. He's got a flash for it.
Flash is
Flit
great.
nails 2 to the wall. Jame comes in, takes control. Woody dies because Outsiders just take a 3v4 post plant without a single death.
That was pretty sick. The way that Yukinder slinked into position. They got so much info there. They made that hard as hell to get out of tunnels. Obviously, all that came down to that Galil spray. Nice attempt on the hold. 3-on-4 with the site, though, sometimes. You even got to give it to the T's. It's just really fun to defend B site when the bomb's down. That's for sure. I like the flash that gets thrown from Yukinder because it's in their vision, so they're going to see it from the tunnels. They have to turn away at some point. Then they get peeked from double, and the flash will bounce off the wall and then pop after that. So hard to figure out when to dodge if you're coming forward. And Outsiders will take their first tack. Comes down to that Buster entry as well.
Buster.
Buster busting down the doors.
Economically, not winning that round has led to this.
They're doing good, yeah.
MIBR. Oh, I love this, dude. This is just rad. Like, you just let him through the door. Oh, no one's watching.
To be
and
honest,
then-
I wonder. Yeah, I actually wonder why you shouldn't do this most of the time. So deep smoke is coming out more often for this reason, but Yukinder's already in lower, well within lower too. Wonder if they read this anti-eco then.
Another boost. Jame being set up to succeed here, but CT's not going to show any skin. Flesh.
We'll have to see MIBR do something interesting on this round instead of play it like they have rifles in this 2-3. Gonna wait for this Woody Scout to ring off.
I'm down with a Woody Scout. Bit of a believer.
As I would.
It was Anders that coined that, right?
No, it was called Quesarado.
Okay.
Yeah, his cousin tweeted it.
You know, Anders has been the biggest MIBR believer. Woody's Scout will find nothing so far. But there's a little bit of a pocket here for the play. Flit and Yukinder lining up. Woody's still trying his damnedest, but Yukinder now knows Joda's still back there. And he's still back there.
He's kicking.
Oh, yeah. Kicking James down. At least 1 kill. 25 HP for Flit and Yakinder. And that could have gotten so awkward just because Jota didn't peek around when the scout was also getting into the impact. He kind of bought his own time, did his own thing. And it's done. Kickert have them locked in to the CT spawn. Yakinder and Flit better make sure they leave. And that is Outsiders' 3 terrorist round wins. Plenty of time to recover from the awkwardness of the start here.
The painting always looks terrible before it's finished, you know?
Okay, Bob Ross.
The good paintings make too much sense too soon.
You gotta smack the devil out of it.
Yeah, I always slap my paintings.
Round by round. I think Nitro had the same mouse pad as Jota.
Oh.
Same boost.
Yeah. I think it is good to wait to see if they ever try to sneak without throwing their deeper mid smoke.
Doesn't give anything away either to just sit there. So
Yeah.
Yakinder should be on high alert though. There are 4 players ready to just kind of flood into the mid doors, and Cello just kind of creeping. Sorry, it was Cello's mouse pad.
They're waiting for all these pushes right now. I'll set up some protocols here as they start to slowly crunch down on mid as the push comes through.
Headshots in abundance for Kickert. Going to keep this one clean. Just like that, Outsiders, I mean, primed to tie this game up.
Oh, yeah.
It's just when you see a round like what we did, it just takes, you know what I mean? Like, that would take my faith out of so many other teams.
Yeah.
But because it's Outsider, I just remember they can recover from anything.
Anything.
It's such an odd identity that they have, but it is literally a part of their identity. It's who they are. It's what they do.
Yeah.
They do it well. Bomb plant, easy does it. Smooth sailing through middle, and the measly pistols of MIBR.
I wish I could spoil Better Call Saul right now. It'd be a perfect reference, but
Don't do
it's
that.
way
Don't
too
shoot
soon.
there.
It's too soon.
Another one connects in the end.
But this resilience, I think any good team could be envious of it for sure. Now, there might be problems, to have around, like, just be able to survive that. It's not good within it of itself, but it is a small upside, I guess, to speak to their resilience. But a lot of teams are missing that resilience for sure.
I also feel it's one of those things that's just like, can you really craft that? Is that a skill you can learn or earn? Some people have it.
You got to play.
It's like clutch. I feel like I very rarely see a player who's just like, 10 times better in the clutch a year on. Feels like it's one of those early signifiers.
If someone can't clutch, they can't clutch. You're right. I agree with that.
No pressure whatsoever here from MIBR on the A site or on Cat.
Man, they found it.
Yeah. Outsiders, they will sniff out those openings.
They've been going really light on grenades in the mid control, and yeah, I think they've been waiting for this chance, actually. MIBR just gambling on the mid B. They're set in position to retake if it's going to be Cat, of course. They're prepared for this in one sense, but
Zero resistance. This is a full-fledged gun round.
yeah, they have long control, so they're waiting for their CTs to rotate, but it looks like Outsiders are prepared to punish that before it happens too, so MIBRs have to be very aware of it. But this is what I was talking about with James, how he just sits in middle, cuts off rotations, basically, for as long as they need to. And now they'll start to mobilize, but yeah, this is what James is here to do.
That's what he's waiting for. That's what he's been here for the last 30 seconds. Meanwhile, Kicker able to come out from tunnels and just really put an end to any attempt. So this one is an absolute freebie for Outsiders.
Yeah. Very smartly done from Outsiders. Not only did they find their first thing, but they kept playing the rounds in the bag. They kept going upper tunnels. James is always in his position. So that was something where MIBR should have been really prepared for that. If they're going to rotate, they can retake without Cat. They can retake completely through CT spawn. But then they need to be able to be willing to part with some utility to make that rotation happen. To get into CT spawn, they need to smoke the door. 3 players can come up, and they should have enough nades still beyond that to pull it off. Otherwise, they shouldn't have set up in a retake like this in general. So that was a mistake for sure. For Cello, we'll call it an MIBR mistake in the setup. Otherwise, they should have known someone should use a nade. And then the other thing is, yeah, the kicker alert, you know, also very possible and very hard to deal with. And I think in general, that's why people do not like playing retake setups in general as much as they used to. Before, it was always really hard to play retake setups, and good teams could pull it off. But I think it's something that you try to fall back on as opposed to lean on. And that might still have been the case for MIBR. Maybe they thought it was going to be a mid-beat for sure later on. If they waited long enough, they thought, okay, late long hasn't happened either. Maybe we can wait for that. And this was worst case scenario for them. Hard to say what the call was when they went into that position. But right now, Outsider's going to take over middle slowly. If they don't see you there, they clearly know how to use the space.
2 M4 saved from that last one, as MIBR have lost their lead and look to somehow recover. Yota's going to boost Turtle. Oh, it's being predicted. But they fall off of it without falling victim to Yakinder, who has crept his way into the hinge smoke. That'll be a warning sign, and the Molotov will be what unravels any attempt at sticking around on top of each other's heads. Flashbang for Turtle, but he decides not to make his play just yet. Play that hand too soon, and suddenly you're down one of your M4s. This is very much being watched by the Hawks of Outsiders. 3 players close.
Wow, just like that, they won Cat. We're almost back to a similar spot as we saw in this last round, with the only difference being Yota closed door. Problem is for MIBR, they have no grenades in this round, just the 2 M4s to work with. And yeah, they have that excuse, but that's also a reason why they should be trying to take a risk, even if they feel like it's uncomfortable.
Deagle towards middle goes down. That risk is currently Turtle clearing long A, but he doesn't go through that second door, and he's not going to attack them from the back as they're already pushing up Cat. It's Woody inside of sight. Flashbang negligible, and yet still unable to stop it. Turtle will find the back of Buster, but that, of course, is the second M4 revealed, and the B players with their pistols so far removed. There is no mid lurk because of Turtle, but is there any real life in this retake, or do you just grab that AK and move it forward into the next? Give Outsiders their 6th terrorist round win. Let this one slide.
There was a wild where it was, you know, Outsiders, Cloud9 lineup, and Spirit, who are all within like top 8 or something in the world. Coming into 2021, and everybody wondered what was going to be the #1 CIS roster. Oh, it's actually could be decent for a Turtle, and he can get more bullets. Yeah, and Yakinder's not in a position to really win this duel, but yeah, he'll go down as well. So, that's huge. That's well done from Turtle. A lot of money wiped off the table and an op.
Hell yeah, you know, it's the little things.
Yeah, definitely counts for something. But it was those 3 teams that people were wondering who was going to be the #1, you know, and it ended up being, of course, Cloud9, who are, you know, the best team to come out of that at that point. But all these teams have this kind of like slow crawl style that was working really well, and we wondered, well, is the rest of the landscape going to become like this? Are other teams going to play more slowly? Is this going to be the dominant style of CS? And one of the real upsides, of course, is that if you play super slow default, people are going to be scared to push all the time. You know, if you are that careful in covering things in the late round, then, you know, it's going to be hard to get people to take risks. Oh, man. Poor Woody is dividing his attention between that Xbox and lower.
He just looked away.
Yeah.
Like, I would love a replay of that. Like, just a millisecond that he looked away. I thought that was his 5v4 every day of the week, and now James cautious of this smoke play. Sure enough, somebody in it. Dodges out the shots and finds him, dude. James always present. But Cello able to refrag, wins that fight, and
he has no flash support. He's sitting up here. What a risk. Oh, man, that's
dangerous
risky.
game.
He had no one on long, though, to fall back to either. Oh. Just no teammates. 3 dead here on Cat.
He made his bed.
Yeah.
Now he's sleeping with the fish. Fish? Fishes? I never know.
Yeah, fishes, yeah.
Yakinder on the hunt.
There's not only one fish in the sea.
Wants to knock down what's left of the CT side, but Yota with the headshot up close, hanging on to the guns here. And Exit looking to do what he did once upon a time with the multi-kill pop-up, but they're surrounded, man.
Yeah.
Outsiders lost a lot of money last round, but they still have a good amount of a buffer to work with, so take this risk, clear the CT's board, and they'll be better off for it. Important couple of kills here to close. Yoda's trying to fight to the very end, man, but they're coming hunting. Hang on! Yeah, he's got it. He's almost got it all.
So close.
Flit will chase him down, and that is all 5 players of MIBR done and dusted.
That was a good hunt from Outsiders. You can see that round is lost off the cat control. James getting his kill, Flit getting his kill. That's a totem pole knockdown right here. You know, moment of timing here from Flit. It's not a terrible fight for him. And that op has to be worried. When the op is sitting up there for that long, it does have to be worried about both angles. I mean, he could play it totally passive if he wants to, but Woody wanted to take the risk. Long control, fast.
Whew. We haven't seen too many highlights yet from Buster this map.
I think we have seen lacking moments from MIBR when it comes to adjustments. So this will be another test for them.
Their decision. Move 1 up cat and 2 through CT. Better get these boosts off before Outsiders arrive. Sometimes they take lots of time. Sometimes they surprise you. Flit.
It'd take even longer.
Right there, dude. Ready, but not without another smoke to cross. Silently moving 3 bodies into the ramp. Now, Woody does give himself a bit of wiggle room here with the smoke, but Flit's going to keep eyes up on the closest rotation. A missed CT grenade, maybe? All that matters is that Exit's still trying to find impact. 50 seconds. Everybody's still alive. Bomb now inside sight. Woody's lost that temporary smoke cover. They 100% know that he is locked behind that box. And with the cross smokes now also fading, it's just going to have to be gunfights. So who comes out on top? That's the question. Buster keeping his head tucked. Counter-terrorists not yet throwing themselves all at it. 2 insta-kills in from Outsiders, and that is just, yeah, dude, that's all the air out of the lungs for MIBR. That one gut punch to kick off the 5v5 facing Cello, all that remains as Outsiders grab an 8.
Yeah, it's very disappointing this round, especially from MIBR. Here's one where they basically had no grenades, and you could tell by the way they were fighting, they just did not want this to get to a retake scenario without getting kills first. They conceded long control, which is fine. They didn't have good enough spawns to deal with it, and only 2 players in the corner, so they left. But they immediately know that most of the time, a T team with long control that early is going to transpose into a full long hit. That's natural. But in the adjustments to follow up, or a really rough smoke, the lurk smoke that Woody has thrown for himself, there's not an opening on the left side. There's only an opening on the right side, so he's limited right there. And then his teammates are throwing grenades and committing a lot of damage in. Uh-oh, and this lower push gets spotted as well.
But they can't stop it. Oh, Cello actually kills Turtle. Awkward. Kicker turns it. Yota,
He's low.
he's looking to get out, but nah, man. He was so worried that Kickert was coming back, and for a second it felt like Kickert left. But not without his head. Shadow advantage, that works wonderfully for Woody. He's able to get the better of it with just the P250. But Outsiders don't really need to worry about that. Just take this B site and they should be good, but, you know, as they do, they'll take their time.
Yeah. Try to get someone to move, and they're throwing the exact same nades.
They'll take their damn time.
Oh, they threw the same nades twice to make it seem like for sure this is the one. And oh, Woody still comes back to mid and cleans Kickert's clock. Jame in the 1-on-2 situation. And, I mean, he still got them on the left side. But Woody's been fragging, and Woody will actually let him slink out. So the MIBR deciding to play this one together.
Jame time. Let's see it.
Jame time, yeah. Well, the clock is down. When the bomb is down.
Molotov, a flash, and a 1v2. I like this, man. Forward advanced angle. Open to catwalk, but that's not a problem, and James got it figured out. Molotov certainly helps. Flashback to CT, and the counter-terrorists have to stay tucked. The timing's working out for them here. They're jumping up haphazardly. They just give that to James, trying to set up his teammate. It works. Woody comes out on top with 20 health, the kill, and the clutch.
They're jumping to spot Goose to see if he was standing there. Woody, 3 frags. Well done.
Very clean.
Every point of the round contributed something. So they still this one away with the upper push, and there was a team kill on top of it.
This one from Woody, P250 clean. Dude, he owns Kicker here.
Yeah.
But, you know, Kicker just standing in the open, kind of waiting to get hit by the freight train.
I thought that was going to be such a good round from Outsiders. They throw, like, the same Hummer flash, the same door smoke, like 20 seconds apart, and then just walk A. That, you know, a round where MIBR don't have a lot to work with, they'll bite on it.
It's Outsiders, bro.
Yeah.
So shooting for that 9th terrorist round win. They would have 9 if James had planted that bomb. But hey, they still
the amount of
come out.
rounds that Outsiders would have had. We
Yeah.
counted those up. They won the major.
No overfacing here, so cat control yet again for Outsiders. Feels like in general, overall, throughout this half, Outsiders winning cat. That one's got
Yeah.
their name stamped on it.
Yeah, that's actually such a big thing to point out. They've taken it when it's free. They've actually won it even if there's people there, up to 3 even sometimes. So, yeah, I think you're exactly right on that one. It's been the perfect point of attack for Outsiders. They've recognized it. They see it as a weakness, and they keep going after it.
Three smokes thrown out here from Outsiders. Frag comes back the other way.
Solid nade.
Woody's going to keep it tucked.
Oh, they're not mollying the ramp. So Woody has an opportunity here. There's 2 here that would have been susceptible. Oh my god, they're walking out mid.
Bro. Buster's rounding the corners towards the B site. All of a sudden, we get Yota coming back for the peak, but Yakinder's in his spawn. And off on Cello, point blank, found out. Exit locks this in, and it is only Kicker doubling back from long A. So the mid to B doesn't work. If Yakinder's able to stop Yota, then yeah, I feel like more bodies flooding into the B site. Maybe Exit gets traded.
Yeah.
Instead, we've got 10 seconds for Kicker to miraculously pull together a 1v4. Crosses into the scope of Woody, taps away at it, and it is a 7th for MIBR.
Yeah, that was big. That one was very tricky. I guess maybe they don't molly the ramp. So they can keep extra grenades, but also just keeps the CTs thinking, all right, we're in the right spot. And if they molly at them, they might go to ramp, peek into CT spawn, and that would cause other problems. And probably a lot of that round does come down to if Yakinder wins his duel or not, because Yota just goes on a rampage after that, helping out mid B really well. It feels like Outsiders have definitely been the better team in terms of quality overall in this half, but the scoreline doesn't represent that fully, partly because, yeah, like you mentioned, they have beat themselves a couple of times as they normally do. But what we have is a very competitive match already. 3 out of 4 timeouts used already now for MIBR.
Before pistol, okay.
But better to use them all than don't. Sometimes you see teams not use them, ever, and you're just like, okay.
It's like wasting food.
Yeah, exactly. Finish your plate.
Finish your damn plate, man. Okay. Eat your vegetables before they go brown. It's an intimidating camera angle.
Yeah.
And an intimidating CT team for MIBR to try and get past. But they'll trail by 1 as they kick off this timeout, second pistol.
That was actually Maui's perspective.
Flit ready for the peak. Yota on his own. Dude, doesn't even have top mid support yet. Outsiders cool as a cucumber. Then all of a sudden the push starts to come out. Oh, Flit takes Cello with him. I'm pretty surprised he's able to recover at least one there. And then Kicker just ices out off the play. Insta smoke on the catwalk. Oh, James thinks he can just walk out through mid. You got taps back and forth. And Kicker in the smoke.
He's here to fight.
He has a flash.
He can't throw it, though. You know he's going to make noise. Oh, man.
Phases that one out. Yakinder taps into Woody on the long play, and now we got 2 CTs on Cat, but one of them going long and the other through the CT spawn.
Yeah, still room to get interesting, and hey, everyone's got USPs.
You love to see it. Ooh, no helmets, baby. It's all about them clean headshots. And
Saw
Buster
one single, but I think they know both are here.
trying to get into the mix, tapping at a distance. Exit trades that back. The ramp peek in from Buster. Reload needed, and it's within that reload that Outsiders prevent.
You know what wouldn't have run out of bullets?
A Glock.
A Glock, baby.
Oh no. Or a P2000.
Yeah, that too.
But they got up catwalk. They got their bomb plant.
They got a little stiff in that post plant. They could have pushed for something.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't know exactly where the retake was coming from.
I get being scared. You know, it is Outsiders. They're everywhere.
And nowhere.
And nowhere sometimes, yeah. See if Outsiders will slowly crawl towards this win.
I'm still disappointed that Outsiders didn't change their name to Overtimers before the major started.
That's winning. That was a winning play, right?
Especially after the RMR and the way that one unfolded.
Yeah, true.
You know, but, oh, Cello,
Hello.
baby. 2 headshots. 3-man setup. Weapon gets switched out and drawn back, so there is still an A defense, but the B players immediately have to come call over. Yota going to play it chill. But I feel like Outsiders, man, they're a team that love to go for the mid beat, like the mid push. Yeah, they'll happily try and take over T side of the doors. Gun goes through. Warning sign offered from Yakinder. Buster not able to trade it yet, and Yota's peeling away from this. He gets confirmation that the both CTs are here. Ton of damage.
Yeah.
And that is an activation for MIBR to go down long. So now this round is MIBR's.
Yeah, well handled by Yota right there. Not only surviving, but getting the first kill, getting so much damage off from the remaining 2 players.
Jame plays this.
Why is Jame here? Jame is just like, trying to get a free kill if he can. Away from his teammate, saving his spawn. I guess Jame wouldn't be special if you could predict where he was going to go.
Right.
That'd be the whole thing.
The anomaly. So he'll fall all the way back and hold on. MIBR basically just comes down to the Cello 2K.
Yeah, huge spray down all along. Round to the cross. Nice spray down. I think, had to refresh the stats, but I feel like Cello did have standout matches. Maybe it was at the showdown where I think Cello had the standout matches. Less as much the RMR where he just kind of right away came in. But I just remember him playing really well, stealing the show a couple of times. And he's somebody who's been around for a long time. I mean, a lot of people are viewing him as new, but you know, we've casted him for many years. I remember way back at ECS, like back in 2015 or something, that he was still fighting with the Immortals lineup.
He's got
Cello
one.
will win another duel, yeah.
Flit though, little gap towards the blue box. Ooh, finds Woody. Tried to double back, dude, but his leg's a clear indicator of the play. And with it, we've got Outsiders 4v3.
Yeah, kind of not an indomitable position, but a spot where the CTs are guessing. I don't know if they can do anything off this long control. They're going to throw like a small fake. Bomb's going to rock back around through spawn. And the CTs look like they might reboost on a site, potentially take a peek on Cat.
A site overstacked, B site
Oh, yeah, they've...
completely clear.
Oh. Maybe those couple of grenades did a lot more than I thought they would.
Reality sinking in though. Yota gonna come back towards mid, but as he's clearing the cubby, Buster gets the better of him. Now it's all about the cross, and it's smoked. But with the numbers, I feel like there is that tantalizing risk.
They have no flashes for this retake.
They can wait out the smoke. Exit's gonna lock into car. Turtle's gonna go for the plant underneath the window. Door re-smoked. Makes things a little bit awkward, but of course there is still this tunnels wrap, and the fact that you've got a 4 versus 2, not just like a 3 versus 2, you can afford to lose a player on each end of this retake. Outsiders, they just gotta smash their way in. Turtle's going to be holding off, waiting for tunnels, and it's Exit that needs to hold off on middle. With Turtle down, Exit peeled in 2 directions, and it's just Yakinder to make a world of difference. Outsiders to 10, 2-round lead.
Yeah, does it all by himself. I guess they felt fine having 4 up, leaving the B site for a second.
Feels like without that mid kill though, right? Like we saw, for instance, Jame locking in a rotate, but without the mid kill, suddenly those 2 guys on site just felt so unsupported.
I really like watching Yotai. I feel like he is one of those cerebral players. He makes moves, he has good aim and everything, and I just feel like he's doing a little bit extra in some rounds where I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know. He's adding to the identity of the rosters he's playing on, so it's really caught my attention. 4th timeout called here for MIBR. This battle for concentration. This thing starts to ramp up a little bit, nearing the end of the match. And for these 2 teams, this game could be the decider between whether or not they make it past this point, right? I think for the teams that played earlier today, at least in our A-stream matches, it might not matter for a team Liquid or G2. They, we still expect them both to get through. Same can be said for Astralis. Maybe not so much for IHC. In this situation, this is it's a real tight one on paper, and I think they both recognize it. They will potentially have to play harder teams than each other moving forward.
Going into the stats that you were talking about, Cello, honestly, huge performances versus Imperial at the RMR to qualify. His only red maps at the RMR were versus Furia. Understandable. But, yeah, man went ham. Right now, it's just Turtle with the AK. So he is who our eyes fall on. But this is kind of outsiders doing their thing, right? The average rounds lost on a Dust 2 win for both these teams, between 10 and 12. It's always double digits, and we're very par for that course right now.
Pay attention for the exit flash.
Yeah, it better be worth its weight in gold.
And then I guess they're... Oh, he's in turtle mode. Okay. Are they waiting for a run boost?
Yep.
Oh, I guess they're just going to use it as bait.
Yeah, let's go for it. Run boost for the bait. Flash out as well. But Jame and Flit just going to lock this in, man. Totally shut down. No chance in hell. P250 comes out swinging from the long doors. Exit looks to pinch it with the deagle, but this one's flawless for outsiders. No space given whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. Time to wake up now. It's getting a little scary. Yeah. Outsiders pulling ahead, and it's honestly easy rounds for them. Literally did take down Navi on Dust 2 on LAN this year.
That's kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy. Pimp had to give away a knife.
Yeah. He probably still kept it. Jame gonna post that op on tunnels. Could be Yota to come around the corner, but 3 players emphasizing long A for now. MIBR gonna take their time, but that's James' game. Yeah, Flit, I was going to say, hears it, knows it. He's kind of under pressure, but is very much on his own for the moment, and his utility is going to force them back for now.
It's important in spots like that to molly when you get spotted. Even though you could get away to a new spot, you need to put enough time in there that you could be anywhere again, whether it's going back to Blue Bend, getting into pit, leaving, and coming back. Some people look at those grenades and like, oh, they're so expensive. Why would you waste them? Even though he was safe. But it's really key. You could see MIBR right about to go and attack just off that small little bit of information they had. And so he denies it. They'll continue on with the split a little later.
Flash.
Oh, the second one's good, but
very
he's
good.
Standing on the ledge.
And then
clapped.
Turtle hits him with the deeg. Kicker, deep corner on the cat. Frag nearly kills what was left of Cello.
I think they heard him, so now they know the split's
Kinder
coming.
climbed the
Kinder's-
boxes.
Yeah, right.
Yota is watching it. Oh, that's a huge pickup from Yota. James finds Turtle. Cello through the smoke. Has no business picking up that frag, especially not on 10 HP, but here comes Buster. An attack from the back of Cat. Yota able to hold off, and the cross comes through. MIBR, bro, they just put on the squeeze.
Yeah, hell yeah. They pulled it off. They were patient. They got denied mid for that, denied long for that second. They just came back a little later. So let's try to open up shop again. And they didn't have a lot of pressure coming at them from mid. No one pushing upper tunnels. All the CTs were waiting because they had a big rifle advantage, huge utility advantage. But a solid split overall. Some really great awareness from Yota once again.
I mean, 3 critical individual moments. Turtle hits the... Actually, I'm going to say 4, dude. Those flashbangs that came over long were perfect for Flit. Not just the first, but the second, right?
Yeah.
He waited out the first one, but when the second one popped, he drops down into pit. So, A, excellent flashes. B, boom, you got Turtle with the Huandik. Okay?
Correct.
The fact that Yoda holds off on the Yakinder flank on Cat in that critical little moment, and then Cello, lady luck, bro, hits the headshot through that smoke.
True.
You know, Kickert's position was just ready to face 1-2 players.
Yeah.
But he just gets slammed against the back wall. And
He
so
did.
those 4 moments, man, that is MIBR with a little bit of X factor, a little bit of pizzazz on a T-side round that they need, because it did feel lifeless for an instant or two.
Yeah, definitely. I like the way you put that. You know, X Factor, that's something they need, 100%.
Those little moments in that one last round have suddenly made this just, you know, eyebrow raise.
Whoa. A boost inside of middle.
This is crazy.
Jesus.
He sees it.
Oh my.
What?
What do you... Oh! That was just James' fight. Look how powerful that one-way is. I want to know from Woody's perspective, you know, if he could see him at all. But he also was scoped in. I feel like he'd still be within range. That was an interesting boost. I haven't actually seen that one been used.
MIBR definitely didn't see it coming. So, tricky way to get a man advantage. Now it's about holding on to it. To get Yakinder into the back of the B site. Full belt of utility on him. Buster. 30 feet forward. And it's just going to be an all-in B exec here from MIBR. Closest rotator will be Kicker towards the CT spawn. So it needs to be a solid hold, and they catch a player jumping up. They did not expect that timing, not from Turtle. Buster's able to jump back onto those boxes. Now Yakinder gets into this fight, but 2 kills back for MIBR. Kicker will come in, but exit. A 1 versus 3 clutch with no bomb currently on him, dude. How does he piece this together? CTs suddenly wait. He could just push out through the door, and if Jame misses this op shot, Jame better hit this. Oh, or Kicker goes through the door just as he was thinking about going for the window peek.
Oh, man. They almost had it, right? They came
Dude,
out
so
so
close.
early, they ran past any grenades. I was looking at Yakinder, full kit of utility back of the site. Didn't have time to throw anything. Got the molly off late. And I can't help but feel like that off shot in mid obviously helps a lot, because look at the trades. They're not bad for a MIBR coming into the site. But they can't kill Buster early enough. It's just so awkward.
I would say Yakinder also very lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
Because that's the first person Turtle sees jumping around outside of window. He does like 85 damage or something.
Yeah.
But then when it felt like Yakinder, you know, if he was dead instead, Buster gets traded out after 1.
Mm-hmm.
That one comes down to the minutia.
Yeah, they fought. They fought for that one. Second time out here called, this time by
Outsiders.
outsiders.
Yeah. MIBR with no pauses left, actually.
Yeah. It's okay. Outsiders will always give you time to think.
Yeah. Oh, but look at the way that deflates the economy here. 2 round wins for MIBR on this T side, round 17, round 20. CT victories on each end of them. So it needs to be exit with a bit of a miracle AK play. And James just going to take it right to them. Insta pickup versus Cello. Down and out before this one even starts. And that opens up Yakinder to then come on over, support Buster. Jame even going to add his name to the hat. A rock-solid B defense ready to be offered here from Outsiders. Jame finds his second of the round. Flashbangs do connect. But then MIBR, I think they realize that the odds are stacked against them in that site. They will peel away.
Yeah, a bit too much notice with the one player spotting, Jame in the back, and a way they can scale fast enough. So
Yeah, that's something, though.
yeah, they're gonna kill and spawn this early. And for outsiders, again, yeah, I mean, no tack pauses. This is the kind of round where I don't know if you don't feel like you're in it, then you
Talk
could,
about it.
yeah, you could talk. Just in terms of ideas, I don't think anything's off the table just yet. We haven't seen too many attempts on straight up long control. Just the one where Cello got his 2K spray down. They actually converted.
Jump across here from Yota.
This is
But one flash just has the CT scurrying back. No reason to overplay. I feel like, the one risk you're allowed to take is the buster push.
yeah. They don't
Now
have
you just
time
sit
to
on your sights.
They don't have time to get a bomb plant in this situation. So
Not on A.
I think they're just trying to find themselves not only a safe place to save, but also show that there's some action so that at least outsiders don't come hunting for them too early.
Yeah, make them scurry away.
Tough that these days you've got to work to save.
CS, man. It's a
Yeah.
full-time job.
It is. It is.
Outsiders, they put in the extra hours. Working overtime as they take that 4-round lead. And there was some life. There was some life in MIBR with that most previous T-side win, but, like a X factor, right? That round had X factor, and these other ones haven't.
Stream B, 9Z are down in rounds, but only by 3 to ENCE.
That ain't bad.
Okay, that's not bad. 9Z plays some good CS, man. If you watch the RMR, we got the pleasure of casting it.
Yeah.
You could see it plain as day. They play good CS.
9Z and IHC,
Yeah.
neither of them will go 0-3.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't willing to put either of them 0-3. I'm with you.
Good.
I will die on this hill with you.
Excellent.
Let's die.
On a hill. This one specifically.
Yes.
Pause comes to an end. Let's get back into this action. M4 AK, Mac 10, CZ, dude. It's not the best situation for MIBR, and that feels like kind of the majority of these T rounds, just by nature of these one-off wins. Economic resets. Outsiders getting through like a technicality of a T side from MIBR. And James right back at it. We just saw this. We just saw this. And now because he sees the legs, he jumps out. Oh, but he thought about going back for second servings. He's got support towards
Chase
middle.
his ass.
Yo, James on roller skates, bro. All the way back around into spawn. How is he both the slowest and fastest person I've ever seen?
I know.
I don't get it.
When he's facing you, he's slow. When he's turned around,
Bro, he's just flying
Speedy
around those
Gonzalez.
corners. And that was with him stopping to take a second peek into tunnels.
yeah, he knew they were there.
What a mad lad. And how do you not chase that if you're MIBR? Especially in a round like this where not only could you get an opening kill because it's being offered, but then an op that comes with it. You have to chase that.
Yeah, you do. Totally worth. Totally worth.
But ultimately not a success story for MIBR. And with it, outsiders happy to just post up 5v4 comfortable A play. James misses the op shot
Yikes.
and doesn't fall off of the box, but Kicker's being primed with these flashbangs. He wins the first kill, even the second. That's the 2 rifles down, but they will be picked back up, only to be chucked to the side again by Flit. 14-9, consistently winning CT rounds.
Yes. So one more rifle, roll attempt here from MIBR, and we'll see if they've got anything left in the tank. Again, no timeout, so they'll just have to play right into it. Flit did something tricky there. I think when he threw his flashes, he could have fallen back towards long or just fought towards the elbow from the corner, but instead replaced James on the ramp, which they didn't expect, and came through for the additional 2. And of course, if anyone's goosed, then that's one of the strongest spots to defend a cat split from. Not surprised that paid off. But, it looks like they're going to play for 15, actually. Cello's got 1 AK. That's all MIBR have.
I feel like I've seen 3 gun rounds from MIBR's T
Yeah,
side.
money's not been great. It's true.
Inflation, man.
Yeah.
It'll get you. Yakinder's peak, gonna be his end. That 1 AK in the hands of MIBR, already working out. Frag grenade to the bottom boxes. That's Cello, only hit for 10. That could have been the end of him, but a little off the mark.
I feel like that got a weird bounce, right?
Yeah,
it
it
looked
felt
like
that
it
way.
was, yeah.
Buster, though, we saw him punished for the play through tunnels a couple rounds ago. Cautious of it, he falls back.
But we'll see if they lean into that too hard. You know, MIBR have not made a decision quite yet, even though it feels like Cat is coming.
Buster's peak being held, but he gets across.
I sees them now.
Yeah, nade comes over. That's Cello taken down again. Turtle is now holding that AK, the only other player with armor. And they're met by a smoke at the 35-second mark. Oh, not ideal for MIBR, but they decide to just wait this out. What's left? James Incendiary? And if he pops that down at 15...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, desperation.
Oh!
But it gets extinguished.
Man, that's right into the smoke. And
even then, there's still no life on this round. So imagine a world where that Incendiary does go down and have impact.
They're going to.
They're going to try their damnedest to get by, but it's a shooting gallery for James. He misses one shot. They continue to press on, and Kicker gets dinked in the process.
Oh, they're going to let him live.
Oh, don't. They're going to kill him after time.
Oh.
Or right at the wire.
Damn. Not enough teams do that, huh? Let that time expire. So, of course, no money next round. And they only had one rifle on this. They had to go die. I think MIBR, for the future, they need to beef up on these ecos. They need to have more interesting setups when they are on CT side and don't have a lot of money. They're playing like they have rifles sometimes, and they're playing like they have way more nades than they do. So more ingenuity in those situations. We've seen moments where it's like players like Yota are like, well, he can read, you know, even the most difficult teams. So that's a good sign for them overall. And they have some entry power, but there are clearly still a lot of things they need to get better at. I'm sure they're going to look like a totally different team versus a team that's not like Outsiders. Everyone looks different when they play against Outsiders, but
the Anomalies.
Yeah. Another great name.
But they also did decide to not buy in that last one, right? They saved for this.
Yes.
They let the 15 slip, so.
Yes.
And nice of Outsiders to give them that pause. This is it. They wanted to play for the 6-round streak. And James gonna miss a shot. That's an open invitation to the cat control at least. 5 versus 4 to start round 25. And Yakinder, he wants to stamp his name on this one. Yota comes back. Yakinder locked in. Oh, Yota didn't see it, but look at that. Yeah. It just magnetizes Yakinder's attention. And it's 3 clean kills from this full-fledged gun round of MIBR. They're not going down without a fight, damn it. They'll swap out for the AK, hit that B site. This one belongs to the Brazilians.
Okay. Double digits. That makes more sense. Let's get this bomb planted and get Outsiders thinking now. Okay. James obviously, you know, he had a good spot for that kind of cap play, but he just missed it. So he's not having an amazing match so far, but can probably afford to in this circumstance. Kickert is the one leading the board today.
Do you think Kickert gets like gets the props he deserves?
No, I mean Kickert, Buster, and Flit are just there's just too much brand power and too many frags between Yakinder and James that there's no more room for attention for anyone else, sadly. And the real ones know, but
sure.
Obviously this team does not work with 2 people. They've just sucked up so much of the attention. I mean, just like a Symbol and Electronic from back in the day with, you know, really weak teammates. They kind of have that aura, except they're not the weak teammates. You know, they're all contributing a ton.
That biggest contribution today is Kickert's. 21 frags. Leads the server, but Yota hot on his heels. And a quick flash towards long. I feel like this is a little bit late from Flit. He's showing up, and they're already at the edge of blue box. Much better on the timing here from MIBR. That's a costly one. 5 versus 4 instantly. You can see MIBR not wasting any time with the spawns they had, dude. They knew what they wanted out of the gate. That is Dust 2 for you. And Buster offers his back to Yota, who doesn't shoot.
I mean, he could. Yeah, he could. Like, there's really... They have long. He's going to go search out tunnels. They already know it's going to be A.
Ooh. Yo, this is getting ripped apart.
Let's go.
Kicker, he's got fire on his feet. They know about him. He's going to peek wide into 3 players, and he only gets the 1. That's 11. MIBR let 15 go. Let us remind you that, so that they could finally get a good gun round in. And since that gun round, we've seen 2 clean rounds. This one comes off spawn. That better be the warning sign to Outsiders, who have now also burned all of their timeouts.
Yes.
This game, it's off the rails now.
And now it's gotten really expensive. Even though they've won all those rounds, they're going to have another buy here, but it'll be the last one, and then MIBR will be within 1 rifle round of making this a real match. In fact, there's not a full investment. James has the op. Kickert has an M4. Well, that's pretty interesting to try to do. Quite ambitious here from the CT side to try to put together a buy like this. I wonder if this money makes the money even weirder going forward. So maybe an even bigger opportunity here for MIBR. So rocket back towards long control. They know no one's securing blue bin and Kickert.
Ooh, but what
One
if it
rifle.
works?
Yeah.
What if it works?
Oh man. They got to be careful where these guns get dropped too. You can see that AK in the front of the door. They want to scoop that up and get rid of it as soon as possible.
Kickert's going to be blinded for only a moment. 3 Ts ready to face him, and he goes down without another.
All right.
So, honestly, you let that slide, MIBR in a better position.
The op is on the other side of the map, starting to make its way back over.
A minute to work with, and they're going to continue this press on long. Little top mid flash to maybe keep Buster preoccupied, but remember, James is still in place. He just got thrown up on a cat with that op. T-side, 2 smokes between them. Everybody's starting to press up along the long. Yakinder, what do you have to offer us? A bit more damage than maybe he should have had. James still ready, and these Deagles, oh man, they're dangerously close, but he misses the chance at the haircut. Smoke dropped in front of it, confirming that they're close, and Cello's gonna give good cover. But there's Buster. He does catch them off guard. At least 1 more added to the tally. James just position known absolutely, and nothing he can do about it. MIBR with a bit of a recovery here. The key was killing Kickert.
Yeah, they're trying to take James tried to take attention away from Flit so he could sneak a kill, and they aren't mollying him on the elbow. Flit doesn't have a kit or anything, so it'll be hard for him to try something interesting. But he might be able to get a kill and a gun as they start to walk away. And Flit can now just kind of, I guess, make him nervous. I don't know.
Die. He'll die.
Okay.
Had his hands on an AK for a moment.
Probably could have, either taken a fight earlier or gone to tap the bomb and died, or just pull him back or something like that, but didn't end up finding an enemy over there along.
So that's halfway, man. The MIBR game plan to play for a 6-round streak is 50% complete.
Right, yeah. No,
and I think Outsiders make this one, I mean, we'll see when we come back in with their buy, but okay, an MP9 on Kickert. That's the only limitation from that 2-gun buy of the last round.
Yeah, that and slightly low grenades.
See if it comes back to haunt them. James, a consistency in this lower aggression, but a fire grenade's not enough to get him back. Meanwhile, tons of utility pressure. Good lineup for the damage. Buster doesn't take anybody with him, but I mean, the HP of Turtle and Yota, yeah, that's enough to have them scurrying back into the T-spot.
Oh my god.
Flit on the MP9 push. Oh, and he's just going to tuck.
They're making noise. A lot of noise. Oh my goodness.
They jump down.
Oh, Jesus. But he knows there's more of them.
He's got the back.
He knows there's more of them.
They're starting to push. Exit. He's dead, but Woody's able to recover.
Okay.
Damn, dude, that felt like it could have been way worse. Oh, that's like a shock sent down the spine of MIBR. What other corners are occupied?
Yeah.
If there was a player in that position, bro, they are just waddling through a minefield.
Yeah. And I think just for that reason, Kickert being left side door, if they go for late long control, that could be an unexpected spot as well. We don't know what MIBR want to do, but I can't help but feel like this Buster damage is actually going to come into play.
It has to, right? It just feels like it has to.
Oh, they're following him over to the right side of the map, too.
But what about
B
that
smoke to
X
scare
factor?
Yakinder for his rotation, and they make it over to B. Oh, smartly done from MIBR.
Perfect calls. It's all about the cross, and that one goes easily. Outsiders.
Oh, let's go. We got a real match.
13 for MIBR. Molotovs to make sure nobody could just come charging through that window, and Woody plants the bomb where James couldn't.
Wow, they worked hard to get that rotation.
Ooh.
They secured it.
Sketchy, man.
Look at all these happy CTs on the wrong side of the map.
But a round win's a round win. These guns are going to be valuable. It wouldn't be Outsiders without a close game, would it?
Yeah, exactly. There were a few traps there, but MIBR didn't fall for them. Now the match is becoming very real from their perspective. Absolutely.
What are you gonna hang on? Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
They'll be unhappy about letting the CT save, knowing they have to go up against another buy. So it could have been buy, save all the way to match points. But I don't think their economy is 100% perfect yet either. Long spawn once again has blessed MIBR, so I think they'll go ahead and take that.
And last time, I mean, this just rocked the Outsiders. Exit at the tip of the spear. Smokes make them a little bit nervous, but there's nobody here behind it. What's the answer?
Yeah, this is absolutely huge. So this comes down to Yota. He's going to listen. He's been really tricky in these spots. He can make a big difference here. They might just pass by him, right? But as long as he knows that they don't go through spawn, then, and if he finds the timing, he can push through and flank potentially. They're spotting the bomb and with the bomb in mid. And they're leaving to go towards tunnels, and I think Yota is leading them this way. The bomb is...
He's trying to call it over.
Yeah.
100% he's trying to call that over.
He's found the open site, man.
And because Yakinder is also just not holding an angle on the doors, they're going to move all 4 players through that spawn into an open B bomb site.
They called that out. Specific protocol.
Outplayed.
Yeah, they called out a specific protocol. If Outsiders, if they go through playground, we get the kill. We can take long, whatever. If they go through tunnels, they are going to go through tunnels because they will clear this out, knowing we have long control.
They have no idea.
And they secure the site totally.
No idea. He could even let Flip pass.
Yeah, if he wants to.
Oh, he's going to let Flip pass. Kills him before he can go peeking through the doors. Dude, they had no clue.
A solid.
Yota. What's up? What a play, dude. Just lets Buster go through tunnels. No problem. And I mean, if Yakinder is a step further in the top of mid, that doesn't happen.
I don't know if Yota hears any nades. I think the only thing he knows is that the clock.
The timings.
When they do that, and that they didn't go through playground. I think that was the other big one.
They were banking on a 6-round streak, and they are now 5 rounds deep. MIBR, this is the game they want to play, and they are winning it. Unless they lose it at the final step. 15-14, and MIBR on fire. They're not going to be able to clear out either or any of those CTs either. So it's 2 ops and an M4 save forward. Outsiders, another buy. But it just feels like MIBR is so in tune at the moment.
Now, 3 of the 5 rounds that they won, these big rifle rounds, they had good long spawns to help them. But of course, they've got to have more ideas than long control. But they actually get the spawns again, so they're going to run with it. Yeah, why not? That's a blessed situation. That's actually really cool. So now we'll get to see what the adjustment will be from Outsiders once again, knowing the same nades and the same pressures coming out. They have one player on Cat. He can hear everything. They're spawning into lower, looking to clear out tunnels. It's like a retry. This is really cool. Because this time we don't have Yosa outside of tunnels. But honestly, if he was there, probably just get targeted, right?
Yep. And we'll see what Buster decides to do. Doesn't go. Rinse and repeat.
Same exact thing.
But Outsiders looking to stay emphasized on this A site. This time we're going to get a gunfight, and this gunfight decides either Outsiders 16-14, stopping MIBR at the final step of this 6-round streak, or overtime. Flit's going to get flashed through that smoke. Lines up 2. Insta-kills. Not to mention tons of damage versus Woody on the back line. And then Buster creeping forward closer and closer. They try to go for it again, and even though Woody's low, he's able to offer support. But now him and Yota with 21 health combined. And Buster, He is still right behind them. Kickert looking to peek around the side of Goose. Yakinder, one of the 2 ops, still in the situation. 35 seconds, and it all comes crumbling down around them. They tried their damnedest to get that done. 5 of the 6 rounds needed, but a final step is a step too far. And Outsiders win Dust 2.
God damn, it's always a grind, isn't it?
It is, baby. This is what they do.
Yeah, well, they let it get really crazy, get really close, but they still won the map, and that's what matters the most.
Damn.
So for MIBR, I mean, they had the carrot dangling in front of them, but they can never quite catch it, and they'll have to try again. But this Challenger stage is going to be quite difficult, and this is probably one of their closer matchups.
Promising showing from MIBR?
Yeah, it was definitely looked good. I think, again, they could be a lot better, and seeing them on an individual basis as a team, sorry, not as individuals, have better game plans in the past.
Yeah.
I think they were missing some stuff, especially when it came to their low buys on both CT and T side, where they didn't show a lot of ingenuity. And if they had any of those small